Hello, welcome back, everyone. How are you all doing today? I hope your week went well, and I hope you're all staying afloat in spite of the drama that we saw in the markets this past week, and also the turbulence and the dollar, the massive drop in gold that happened on Wednesday night after the remarks of President Trump at Davos in Switzerland, and also the Bank of Japan um, interest rate outlook, okay, the policy rate, the outlook rate, or the outlook report, as the case may be. And then they postponed press conference that eventually came out or happened. And then the market decided to make some very drastic moves, right? And the whole concept or the sentiment that surrounds the Bank of Japan intervention, all right, that is actually what actually sprout or what started what we saw on Friday on the yen pairs. And then, the GDP, the quarterly, I mean, every data that came out last week, hope you all stayed safe. Right. Now, another thing is what we're gonna discuss today, we're gonna discuss a lot, right, from my own personal positions, and then we're gonna discuss our own positions based on the what we discuss here, all right, based on the video that we recorded and everything like that. Don't forget, very early this year, I said I'm not going to be talking I discussed the kind of assets we're going to be discussing, and so far they've all seemed to be doing very well, I must say, and I think we're all still doing pretty good. I must say that as well. Anyway, so let's quickly discuss what I have for you today, okay, and then we're going to jump to what the recommendation for next week will be, and we're going to wrap it up successfully. So before we jump, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're new, and also if you are a regular, don't forget to like the video. Please, that goes a long way. All right. So moving on, in this video, we're going to start with the technicals before we now wrap it up with fundamentals. Right. So let's start with technicals. Before we actually talk about much, I want to talk about the position I have running. All right. I have copper. Don't forget, I've been talking about copper. Copper is still at large very weak, right? During the World Economic Forum, okay, it was talking about how important copper is and how much people have been holding it. I mean, it's quite cheaper to mine, and there's excess of copper, right? So if you're following the trend, if you're following the fundamentals, you know that copper right now is the next gold, or you can say silver. And I have been buying a couple of it, I must say. All right, I've been adding a few positions to positions to positions. All right, and so far I'm willing to hold this to term. Okay, I'm willing to just follow this to wherever I want to go. It's extremely cheap. All right, and the margin is not too crazy yet. Like unlike copper, that the margin is now crazy. You want to pick a buy on copper now. I mean, on silver now, your stop loss will have to be extremely massive. You get what I'm saying? And if you are a prop trader, probably you're trying to pass a challenge. Commodity is now like the easiest asset to pass challenges. Okay, I've seen people pass challenges with gold, silver, and everything like never before, right? So if you are interested in passing challenges, yeah, you might want to look into copper, gold, and the rest of them. Right, moving on. So I'm still holding a buy on copper. I took a buy here, and I took another one right at the bottom here. So I have two particular positions on copper, and if it breaks above here, pull back, I will have to the trade on copper. For now, I'm watching and I'm waiting. CHF took a 1:2.5% profit, which was quite good. All right, this is my own personal trade. I'm just going to talk about them, nothing more, nothing less. So Swiss yen, you can see we didn't talk about Swiss yen at all, and there's a reason for that. Okay, so Swiss yen so far looks good, right? Took some profit. I might buy again this week, but for now, I mean this coming week. But for now, I'm gonna leave it like that. Euro dollar is another one that I'm holding. Very interesting, very cool trade. Right. It's one of the trade that we also discussed here, which kind of just took profit here. But on this particular account, I'm still like probably I will hold it like for a long period of time, like 1.2 that we discussed in the last video. So pay close attention to that. Euro yen trailed me out, right? This one kind of like just trailed me out. I think it showed me out around here at this particular bottom. Okay, I'm talking about here, right here. This is where my stop loss was. So when the market dropped, it showed me out right there. It wasn't fun, but if I get another retest of this particular zone, I will be buying again. All right, I will be buying again. Don't forget the sentiment, what I mentioned earlier, the sentiment that's around the Bank of Japan intervention. right? People think it's going to be happening soon, all right? Although there's no certainty yet as regard that. But I mean, it's the market. We know what drives the market: sentiment, fundamentals, technicals. All those things are what got us here. Okay, and they're still probably going to be the reason why we're always going to be here. So we have to understand them. We have to follow them. We have to consider them in all our trades. So that one was a trail out. And the other thing is on Kong 50, I've been holding and Sheng, right, for a while, right? I'm still holding on to this one, and I have a plan to buy more of Ansheng once it breaks above this particular supply zone right here, or you can call it resistance, right? This resistance right here, once it breaks above it and pull back, I will be adding to Ansheng all the way to the upside. Right now, my trailing stop is slightly below here, just to keep safe. All right. But I think there is a possibility, as you can see, the momentum is already building up slowly. So we might get something like this moving forward, which I will be buying later, right? I'll be buying it later as time goes on, right there. So action good. Kiwi dollar, I really don't know where to take my profit on Kiwi. I'm not gonna lie to you about that. I'm not even chill. I'm not even kidding. But the ultimate target on Kiwi is still at the top here. You understand? At the top here. But right above here, it's considerably decent to also take some partials. So I'll be looking to take some partials at the top here, provided that there's no sharp correction on Monday. All right. If there's no sharp correction on Monday, then that's fine. All right. But I will be looking forward to take some partials at the top here. So far, Kiwi dollar, if you're holding that trade, you should be doing very fine right now. All right. Kiwi dollar is a fabulous, fabulous buy. All right. I took a buy here, still holding it since November 19th. All right. I've been buying Kiwi dollar from there, and I added to the positions right here. So far now, this trade is running like I think 3 to 4% profit. Okay, despite the fact that I was only risking 0.7% per trade. All right, I was risking 0.7% here. I was risking 0.7 or even 0.5% here. So, but the total of this move right now, both of them is like 3 to 4%, which is very fine. All right, you might ask me why wasn't I risking 2% per trade? I don't like it. Okay, I'm not there yet. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not there. I'm not in that space to risk 2% per trade yet. Okay, but as time goes on, I might grow into start risking 5% per trade. And don't forget, I'm the kind of person that trade a lot. Okay, I have a lot of positions running. So I can if I'm to be risking 2% per trade, by the time I open all my positions, you will see that the whole risk on that particular account will be roughly around 30%. Okay. Still not too crazy because I know that 70% of the time I win 1:2.5. Okay, so that is still fire, but at the same time, it's a psychology thing. Okay, when as time goes on again, I will grow into the kind of person that risks 2% per trade. But right now, I prefer zero point 0.5 to 0.7. Okay, slowly. All right, slow and steady. I'm not in a race with anybody. I'm not in a hurry to make profit or to buy Lamborghini. Just so we're clear, I just want slow and steady, and I want to open position that I can, if I'm in the drawdown, I can sleep at night peacefully. You understand what I'm saying? So that's the goal. And Nasdaq, I was buying Nasdaq for a while too. It's been a while, but again, it's been very, very dramatic, I must say. Right? I took the trade right here. Also, I think December 17th. Okay, December 17th. I took a buy here. First of it took me down like crazy. Then it went up, then down, up, down. So this particular asset, including Angsheng, okay, they have both been ranging heavily. You can see it's a big fat range, right? And the trade is still very much in a lot of pressure, and it's not done yet. Okay, it's not over yet. We can still get another leg to this particular bottom, which I might buy. All right, I might really buy if I get retest of this particular demand zone again. I would definitely buy. So let's watch out on US30. USD CHF. We're not going to talk about USD CHF here. When we get here, we're going to talk about it because it's a very fine one. But USD card is another one that I'm selling. Okay, I'm also selling USD card, which is very beautiful. All right, quite beautiful. I belong to a couple of communities and I've been signaling a short. Don't forget, there was a time I took a short here on USD card that didn't play out well. And then when I saw this, I just took the trade. All right, I just love me a very ending diagonal at 50% Fibonacci. All right, and then also retesting a key zone. Okay, support, resistance. Okay, so it's just the best kind of confluence that you're looking for. And you don't get this all the time, I must say. You don't really get this all the time. But those rare times that you get it, you just have to go in with everything you've got. You hear me? You have to go in with every single thing you have because you might miss out on a very, very free money. This is what I call free money, okay? Literally free money. So USD card is doing very well. All right. I'm not sure I've started trading, but definitely next week I will begin. I will begin to do that. All right. And you can see there's a lot of possibilities, honestly, on USD card. But first off, we have to contend it with this particular trend line. Okay, that's coming from the weekly band. So let's go to the daily time frame and see how where that trend line is coming from. Apologies. All right. You can see, I think this particular word, support, 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 support. Now supported here. Is it going to get a support here again and fly to the upside? Or are we going to get it broken to the downside and we're going to get a retest of this particular zone? Or maybe even come all the way down here, right? Very possible. Okay, lower low, lower high, lower low. Right. It's just there. So let's watch out for that. I think this is very potent. There's a lot of potential on USD card for more short. All right. When we get to the black background right here, we're going to talk a lot about that. And lastly, the trade I'm holding is WTI. This one also been holding it for a while, right? I think since 8th of this year, 8th of January, I've been holding this one a buy at the top here. I took a buy here some time ago, right? I think right here, and the market dropped down, right? And then once it went up, I closed it. I told you, you watch like early this year video on WTI. You know that I said I was buying WTI around there, but I closed it at the top here. So right now, I took a buy here, 8th this year, 8th of January. Went up, I took some partials, came down, I had some buys, and now it's going back up. It's been a very dramatic one. I mean, it can still come down. Okay, it's giving me that US 30. You know, I think NASDAQ US 100. Okay, it's giving me that US 100 vibe of that massive range. But the range is not as wide as US 100 range. All right, but it's still giving me that vibe, which is quite weird. But anyways, we see how that goes. Okay, but I have a plan to add to the positions because even on the weekly time frame, I mean, we have this particular triangle, right? We have this triangle right here, with this particular divergence, right? This divergence was very clear on the daily, and it's majorly the reason why I took the trade. Okay, after this engulfing candle right here, I just had to go for that trade. Okay, nothing makes sense like it, in my opinion. I've been trading this for like 2 years now, and it's been very fun. So I'm just gonna hold this one to term to see how it goes. And that is all on all of my open positions as it stands now. Now let's talk about trade recommendation. Although we didn't cover Solana, so let's quickly talk about Solana. So Solana, so far, right, we didn't cover it on the white background because we took the trade right here, and I think I should explain it here, or I should talk about it here. So Solana, so far, so good. Solana looks very interesting. I still believe that there is possibility of 100 region maybe next week, all right, or week after next. But I think we could get, if you get like a very 5,000 P bid on BTC, we should get something like that on. I mean, we should get this particular 100 region taken on Solana. So if you are still holding the Solana position, please hold it tight. I already give the signal. I mean, I already give the region to place our stop loss. I believe so. Right here, all right, in the signal group, all right. I already shared how to manage the position. So do so by, I mean, be so kind to do so, right? If you're not in the signal page, it's fine. Let me just tell you where that was, right? I think it should be somewhere around here, right? Just place it below entry period. Nothing too fancy about that. Below entry is fine. Okay, just hold on to it. Let's see how it goes. Okay, high potential of seeing it dropping. Okay, a lot is building today. We also have 50% Fibonacci, right? Kind of like a wedge pattern right at the top here. Okay, very decent. Falling back to what a key zone as well. All right, so everything kind of ticks, and that's why we got this move right now. So we shouldn't be losing money on this one. So let's just watch out because I would love to take profit on it. USDJPY took profit 100%. Okay, 1 ratio 3.2 profit. I did not even know the profit has been taken because last night I was out, so I couldn't even follow like that. But the profit was like around there, so that's 1 ratio 1. That's 1 ratio 3.3, I believe. So right now I'm just gonna watch this one out. Okay, I still do I think there's possibility of it dropping down further? I believe so, 100%. I think sweets can still drop further and further to the downside, but not before or not without a pullback. And another thing that you have to pay attention to is when you see a big range like this on an asset like USDCHF, the breakout is always very similar to what you experience on gold. If gold range for like 3 weeks or a month, when the breakout happen, good lord, it will be unstoppable because it will run on a particular direction for months as well. That's when everything was nice. Okay, when everything was decent. Not now that everything is crazy. Okay, but I think I've based on personal research and everything like that. I've also seen similar keys on USDCHF, USD card as well. After a big and long-term range, the breakout is always explosive. So you might want to keep a close eye on that one as well. My silver, I'm still holding silver and gold on one separate account like that, you know. And I did a very weird thing also. I took a buy here. I think on Wednesday when it dropped right here, I took a buy and I closed it at the top. Okay, it was weird. On a cent account, I'm trading like that. You know, just weird. Took a buy, very massive lot size. I knew the market, so it was crazy. I don't want to run you through what happened. It was crazy. I'm still ailing from that. I'm not gonna lie to you. But on my swing account, the trade I took here, I'm still holding it right here on silver. All right, around 2,000, whatever. I mean, 20,000 pips. There, it's weird. Okay, silver is weird right now. Okay, gold. Also, I'm holding a buy here. Okay, the trade I took here showed me out here, so I took a first another buy at the top here, and 1, 2, 3, 4 bullish. I'm riding all of that. So far so good. Gold and silver very bullish. If you ask me, are we gonna get a pullback? Of course we can. All right. I mean, we got something like that here, so possibly we're gonna get something like that here as well. And if you ask me, I mean, guys, okay, it's gonna sound weird and probably crazy a little bit. It's not crazy. It's just because of what we are seeing right now that makes even technicals, okay, sounds crazy. You get what I'm trying to say? Like it makes technical sounds crazy. When you're trading assets like gold and silver and you're talking about pullbacks, it makes you sound unprofessional, right? It makes you sound weird. It's professional, but it makes you sound weird because you personally don't even believe in what you're saying, to be honest with you. All right. Because I mean, just look at all these rallies, all this crazy pump. The best we've seen is just some very weird pullbacks, one candle pullback, and the next time you see it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 to the upside. It's annoying, but at the same time, it's beautiful. Honestly, gold is extremely beautiful. I mean, 5,000 region now is like bananas. By the time market gap up next week, you see it above 5,000 because you can bet. One of the things you can bet on gold and silver now is the gap, and the gap that will never get filled. All right, never get filled. Probably again for the rest of this plan, for the rest of the world. All right. But anyways, if I'm gonna give you my personal opinion or my own personal view on gold, I will say that anticipate for a pullback, right? A pullback to this demand zone, or maybe excuse me, let me pick something quite something more decent for this particular page. Yeah. So wait for something. I'm coming. Let me take this one. I want to pick a color for this. All right, good. So in my personal opinion, we have a demand here. We have a demand here, and then we have another one there, right? We have one here and we have one here on gold, right? So if you plan to trade gold this week, wait for that pullback. One, or wait for this one. Okay. Two. Okay. So those two regions, this is a key zone. We have resistance here. So wait for the support. But this is a pure demand zone. Okay. This is a demand, and this is more like a key zone. Okay. So if you plan to buy gold this week, swing buy, all right, and you wanted to make a certain sense, okay? Not you buying at the top here, because I've seen people buy the toppy top, the tippity top, and gold still went above it. It is insane, right? I will see the trade. I told you I belong to a couple of communities. I will see the trade. I'll be like, you're buying from supply, you're buying from the very top. How crazy could that be? And in the next 1 hour, the guy will come back and tell you he's in profit. And you can see it yourself. It is absurd, it is insane, but that is the new reality of what we are facing right now. Technical analysis or any rule-based trader right now, if there is swing trader, unless you take a buy at the top here, I mean at the bottom here, either here or here or here or here, you are not in this trade. Okay, or maybe potentially here, right? The last time you could have gotten an entry is January 13th, 13th of January, literally. If you did not get an entry since 13th of January, probably you're not in a trade on gold. I mean, unless you're a day trader, you trade 15-minute time frame, you trade 5-minute time frame, then yes, you'll get an entry. All right. But if you're a swing trader, there is high possibility that if you miss all these chances, all this bottom right here, you're probably not in a trade, honestly. So back to what I was trying to say. Okay, wait for pullback to this region, then let's anticipate for next rally. Another pullback to this particular region and next rally. So I'm talking about 47.70 and 46.50. Now, don't forget, this sounds weird, right? Because even I particularly know that this might not happen. Because if you listen to me in the past couple of weeks, I said wait for 41.25 or 4200 or 4300. None of that happened, right? So it makes you sound weird, but in the real sense of things, you're actually not weird. But the market that we are trading right now is trying to reconstruct. I mean, it's trying to reconstruct us, trying to reshape what we know to be real to what it is right now. And as a trader, we have to succumb to it, okay, to a decent extent. Because if you really want to trade this thing, you can't be waiting for 50% pullback on Fibonacci. We might probably never gonna get 38.2%, probably 23 point something. Yeah, you might get that, right? But 50%, 61.8%, where are you gonna put your bottom? Right? Are you gonna put it here to here, and you're waiting for 50%? It might never come, right? You put it here and put your top here. If you're waiting for 50% Fibonacci, it might never come, right? If you're not looking for golden ratio at 0.618, it might never come. You might wait for forever. So you have to just trade demand and supply right now, okay? Not even key zone, all right? And that's exactly why I said what I said here, okay? We have this demand here. There's a demand here on the far time frame, and there's a key zone here, right here, okay? There is a key zone here because this is the previous resistance, probably be used as support, and this is the demand zone, right? So you just have to wait now, period. Okay, you just have to wait now. If you cannot wait, then you are better off trading copper or something else, right? On gold, I have to spend time because what I'm talking about on gold is applicable to silver as well, right? It is very much applicable to silver. I think silver was weird. I must say that it was weird because for like a week it was ranging here while gold was making all the runs, right? So now we have got this massive rally. Now we have a demand zone here. Okay, you might come back to this demand zone and rally harder to the upside, or it might in fact do what? It might in fact come back to this key zone right at the bottom here and then rally to the upside because we have resistance here and we have support. It can be used as support in the future. You get what I'm trying to say now? So it's very, very important to pay close attention to all of this. The demand zone is at 92, while the key zone is at 83, right? So those are the region that you might be looking for buy opportunity on both on silver, right? At 92 demand or at 83 key zone, right? So is it gonna get there? I don't know. Do I want it to get there 155%? Do I want it to get to like the key zone? I will pay $500 to see silver come back to 83 key zone. Genuinely, because I would love to buy from there. That's a very, very decent discount. Okay, probably the biggest discount we're ever going to get again this year because now we are getting to that certainty level that silver is on its way to 135. Okay, silver is on its way to 135, 148, 200, or what Bank of America forecasted it to be 309, right? So these are the regions that we are targeting at. I mean, that we are looking at right now. 135, Bank of America, okay? 148, I think JP Morgan guy, JP Morgan CEO kind of talk about that. 200 is my own, right? 309, Bank of America, okay? So these are the regions. So let me just put Ademola right there, okay? So those are the regions that we are looking at right now. 135, 148, 200, 309. You have to pay close attention to all those levels. And I don't want to, if I buy from 100 right at the top here, I mean, it's still very possible, right? You still have 135. That's the high possibility that I'm going to make money from it. But do I want to? It is stupid. It goes against everything I know to make sense in the market. It goes against my mental health, my sanity in trading. You understand what I'm saying? I love pullbacks. I love to buy at discounts, right? So buy cheap, sell expensive. I'm that kind of person. But I don't know. But I was still waiting for 92, the next demand, or 83, the next key zone. So if you want to wait with me, wait with me. If you're tired, it's fine. I understand you. So moving on to dollar index now. So dollar index, like I said, it's a beauty. Okay, dollar index is a beauty, and we discussed this at great length, right? And this is exactly what I discussed. This is exactly why I said we are in the market in a zone, or let's say in a zone literally. Okay, we're in an environment where fundamentals really come late, extremely late, right? Extremely late, because this is where we now have to talk about the fundamentals, right? So let me drag this here. So taking a look at this economic heat map, the US economic heat map. I mean, last week we got some very good data from the United States. We had the GDP, quarterly GDP, very strong, 4.3%, 4.4% from what was forecasted as 4.3%. And we have the previous at 3.8%. So this is a very strong reading. Dollar should rally with it. That's number one. Number two, we have the PCE at 2.8. Okay, it is pretty neutral, right? So again, maybe a range. All right, maybe a range is fine. Okay, and the next thing we got was initial jobless claim. Now, initial jobless claim was reduced by 12K, okay, meaning that people got employed. 12,000 new people got employed in the United States, and that alone should what? Should fast track dollar itself. Okay, should what? Should fast track dollar itself. Now, what are we seeing? We are getting a drop, an intense drop. Now, headlines, arguably, okay, headlines are now the drivers, okay, and the king of headline, or let's just say the top headliners right now is Mr. Trump, okay, President Trump, excuse me, okay, Mr. President Trump, if that makes sense. You know, I'm just kidding, but Trump is now the king of headliners, okay. He said so many things in Switzerland when he in the middle of the night. I mean, later that day on Wednesday, he said some very weird, wild things as well. And since then, Thursday, I mean, you just can't take camera off Trump's face. He's always talking, whether on Twitter or on his social or a very, very an impromptu press conference, something somewhere. Trump is saying something and is literally wrecking the dollar, right? Do I love it? 1000%. 100,000%. I love it because I'm actually selling it myself. So, and it's something that we've discussed over and over and over again on this channel, right? That right here is where I draw the line, is where I drew the line, right? The moment we had a cross above there that stayed very decently, then I'm bullish. And now I think dollar has a better chance at touching maybe 96 before mid-February. All right. And if we're getting this kind of very heavy bearish candle, then potentially going to get there before the end of the week. And that is certainty. Okay. Don't forget the caveat here. If we're getting such heavy candlesticks, all right. And that is very important because pound, dollar, all that pairs, it looks good to buy now, right? They look super, super good to buy. For day trading, for swing trading, you just want to dive into them and enjoy yourself, in my opinion. So I would say that dollar index, in my opinion, maybe we're gonna get a pullback, right, back to this zone, right, on dollar index, and then maybe it's gonna drop further, right. A pullback is normal or necessary. As a matter of fact, let's go to the 5-hour time frame so we can wrap it up very fine today. Okay, we've already discussed a lot of things, so I think it's just fair we try to wrap it up already. So first of all, I'll put something like this here, right, right there, looks good. Okay, and then you can see dollar index also. I mean, the XY is approaching this demand zone at 97.2. Okay, so potentially if there's some demand there, maybe some people are buying dollar index. I don't know. All right, maybe we're gonna get a rally to retest this particular region at 98.24 as well, and maybe it's gonna drop further from there. I just don't want an instant or a very ridiculous drop like this. No, I want to see I want to see a pullback. Okay, I just don't want a very weird drop. Okay, just drop. No, 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 no. I don't like that. Okay, I want to see a pullback, and that pullback I want to see it stop at 98 region. All right, and then from there we can now target 96, 94, and so be it. Okay, that's where I stand on the dollar. All right, that will give me some very good chance to take another buy on NZD dollar, which is our first trade recommendation for today. Okay, don't forget last week we discussed great length on Kiwi dollar about this particular trend line, right? I said retest of this trend line, then rally to the upside, and that's exactly what happened. But I mean, I don't want to say I told you so, but exactly what I said. So we'll move on. So moving on, I mean, NZD dollar back to this region is just fine. Okay, we have a kind of what's it called again? Other blocks or a kind of fair value gap, whatever, right there. So moving on, a retest of this zone at 50.5855, right? Something like that. We should see a further rally on NZD dollar approaching 0.60, right? 0.60. So that I took a buy here. I took a buy here. I will be taking another buy here on NZD dollar. So watch out for that. A pullback and then an entry all the way to the upside from there. Okay, these are swing trades. Okay, these are pure swing trades. So watch out for that. Dollar yen right now. I want to buy dollar yen. I don't know why, but now is not the time. And I think I did this last week. All right, this particular bullish channel last week, and I think there's a lot. There's a lot going on right now. Okay, but I can't really make sense of it yet. I don't see any divergence at the top. So I guess we have to wait for dollar yen, I must say. Okay, potentially pullback and drop. Something like this. Okay, would it make sense if we just get something like this? Right. Something is weird. I doubt it. But maybe we're gonna get a retest of this demand zone, right? And the market will probably bounce up from there for like a while. And what happened later is quite bleak for me now, honestly. It's pretty much bleak, I don't know. But just watch out on dollar yen. Okay, a retest is normal, right, of this demand zone at that 154 region. Okay, don't forget the intervention region I was actually anticipating for was 160 to 162, but it didn't get there yet. Do I think this is intervention induced? I'm not sure. Right, I'm not sure. But because there's no report about Bank of Japan intervention yet, and I don't want to jump the gun, so I would say that probably not. But we shall see. All right, we shall see. Pound dollar. I talked about buying pound dollar last week. I'm not sure if anybody took it, but it took some profit, and now we're waiting for another retest of this particular key zone right here. Okay, waiting for a key zone right here. Okay, right around here, we got a pullback to retesting hit, or even deeper. Yeah, maybe I will look for buy on pound dollar. So let me make that make sense to you. Okay, so let's make that make sense. Number one, we have one here. Okay, so we get a pullback to this zone. Okay, we have resistance, then maybe we're gonna get a support here, and then the market will move up. All right, power venture, if this is not the case, we have a very good demand here. Don't forget, while I trade, I look for demand and key zone, or let's just say demand or supply, right? I look for demand and supply or key zone, right? So that's where I look for entry. And these two, there are so many things packed into it. Diagonal, Fibonacci, divergence, everything. A lot of things are packed into these particular zones that I look for confirmation from. Okay, like four other things are packed into it. Four other concepts that I'm not gonna share. But supply and demand at key zone, or I mean supply and demand or key zone, yeah, with few other things makes a very good confluence for me to look for entry. If I don't get like three of those four things, I don't take trade, period. And that's why I cannot buy gold and silver right now because they don't make sense, right? So moving on to pound dollar. I mean, we've talked about pound dollar at length. Pull back to this region, this particular key zone, or maybe back to the demand zone again. Look for buy here, look for buy here. All right. If you still come back to this place, cover all this rally. That's not sell, right? That's just pullbacks. Market does it all the time. You can see right here we got a sell off and the market jump up again and then it sold off again. That's crazy, right? So just chill out, all right? It's not the end of the world. You can see that, right? So I don't want to talk about the minor pairs, but we are running out of trades on the major pairs because some of them we are holding, some of them are already they've already played out. So on Aussie Swiss, I would say we are looking for a swing short on Aussie Swiss, and I'll be selling this guy later. One thing about Aussie Swiss or the Swiss pair, something like CAD Swiss, okay, CAD CHF, Euro CHF, okay, Pound CHF, and then Aussie Swiss, Kiwi Swiss, right? Anything Swiss, any pair that has Swiss as a denominator, right? You want to sell them, period. You want to what? You want to sell them because when they are selling, they sell off very fast. Same thing as USDJPY, right? You saw the massive drop. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. So all this Swiss, in my personal opinion, I will be looking to short this guy, right? But not now. Okay, I have few regions I'll be looking at, or I'm currently looking at. I must say, let me take this to 12-hour time frame because this is a swing trade. Honestly, I don't like day trading these assets. They are very, very terrible to day trading. The worst pair you can ever day trade. I'm just being real. All right, so we have a kind of I'm not sure. This is like a 1 hour, 2 hour demand zone at the top there, which is yet to be mitigated. So maybe you get a retest of this particular channel, right? A wedge pattern. The market move back to the upside. Okay, we already have a divergence here, which is very good, right? So maybe we get a retest of this region that kind of like form like a liquidity sweep, okay, a form of liquidity sweep, and then maybe the market will drop further down from there, right? But I even want this to be like a week or 2 weeks build up, right? 2 weeks build up, so that the drop will be very intense and makes good sense, okay? So moving on, if this particular sweep now gets swept away, and then we have a massive, massive supply at the top here. Okay, we have a massive supply at the top here, and that, yeah, I'll be waiting for. I'm actually waiting for this than this. All right, I will pick this one more than I will pick this. All right, so because if I'm taking a buy here, if I'm taking a sell here, my stop loss will be probably above here. Honestly, it's gonna be very wide, 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 wide. So that's why I would love to see it come back to the stop before I sell it. If I get it here, no problem. All right, I will take the short, but I will probably be very, very cautious, and my risk will be very small also because that's not the full region I want my entry to be at. So we can take a shot here for sure. You get a retest, you get some entries right there. Yeah, fine. Right. But if not, just wait for it to come back to the supply zone and then we sell it from there moving forward. So that's that. CAD JPY. I'm moving very close to the end of today's video. So that's that. CAD JPY also, I don't see anything on CAD JPY side. Maybe a final buy at the bottom here. All right, a final buy at the bottom there, all the way to the upside. Okay, a final buy. Let's go to the 4 hour time frame. I think it's clear there. On the 4-hour band, right, we have a supply there that is yet to be mitigated. So maybe a retest of this demand zone, right here, okay, and then we get a final rally to the upside from there. Okay, so just watch out for something like this, and you look for buy moving forward, right? Something like this that we go here, look for buy moving forward. So CAD-JPY. However, where do I draw the line? Right here. If we cross below here, yeah, I'm out of it. I'll probably take a short trade and then look for what happened at this particular region right here. Okay, that is where I draw the line. So guys, that's where I'll be stopping today. I will see you next week. Okay, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Have a fabulous one. Bye for now.